Oh my god, Pokemon 2? What is this? I know, all kinds of updates are being done this week. But yeah, today I'm going to be giving you guys an update to the Pokemon deck I've been playing around with, and that is Garchomp Altaria. If you're wondering why I decided to put this deck out again, it's because I wanted to experiment with some cards that were released in X and Y, the newest booster set in Pokemon, and I'm just going to say right now, X and Y is a really good set. If you were thinking about getting back into the game, I would definitely consider investing in X and Y, as I honestly feel this is going to be where the next rotation starts at, is going to be XY on. So that's one reason, and yeah, just a whole slew of new decks and old decks have gotten some boosts because of X and Y. The fairy monster mechanic are now things, and fairies are very good. Like, Pokemon TCG decided to make fairies just come out of the gate swinging. A couple of their trial decks or just really good pulls from X and Y, and you have yourselves a legitimately good meta deck. All because fairies have just got some really good things going for them. I will try and get a fairy deck profile when I can, because, well, my friends are now starting to play this game, and it feels really nice to be having games against competent players. Mega Monkey is building Darkrai Evital, another person is building Darkrai Evital, Dueling Hobo is building Aromatisse Xerneas, another one of my friends, Mr. Cornman, is building variants of Greninja. Greninja is a very good card, especially with Kingdra. And I am currently working on Plasma. I don't have it complete yet, so again, I'm just playing around with Garchomp. That, and I really want an excuse to show off my secret rare Garchomp that I managed to pick up. It's just basically the shiny version of a Garchomp, but seriously, this thing's badass. And I'm going to say right now, Garchomp is by no means meta. Like, this is a rogue deck at its finest. It's pretty much on the same power level as Kingdra Greninja. It's basically a Bad Deck Monday from the Top Cuts channel. I've been watching their videos a lot recently, and the fun things you can do. That Greninja deck looks fun. That all said, let's begin with the actual deck itself. So, the Garchomp line itself has not changed. It's 4 Garchomp, 3 Gabite, 4 Gibble. Of all the Stage 2 decks out there, this is probably the only one where you actually run multiples of the Stage 1, and that's because Dragon Call is an incredible ability. Just being able to toolbox any dragon out. Not many decks have actually found a way to really abuse this. Like, they have not made very many dragon cards that really benefit from Dragon Call. I'm really surprised. I was thinking at some point we'd see, like, Gabite this and Gabite that. Nope. Even the upcoming Guja doesn't really benefit from lots of dragon stuff. Guja is going to be interesting. Not very played, but it's an interesting card nonetheless. Charizard, Mega Charizard EX as well. Yeah, Mega Charizard EX is a dragon too. It's a big dragon, but it's also just weird. But anyway, 4-3 for Garchomp. Garchomp is your big attacker. You do large amounts of damage for a little energy. The 140 HP is very weak though. He'll die in one hit to a lot of big EX attackers. Evital EX will knock it out clean with his X Blast, which is unfortunate. However, on the plus side, your guys will be giving out 1 prize when you get knocked out, but you'll be taking 2 prizes from them. Dragon Blade does 100 plus for discarding 2 cards from the top of your deck and 2 energy. So it's not that hard to set up. And Mach Cut hits with a special energy, which is very important, as Double Colorless Energy, Prism Energy, Blend Energy, and now recently Rainbow Energy are all seeing main deck play. So Mach Cut can actually set your opponent back a turn. It's basically an enhanced hammer for 60 damage. And it's more damage when paired up with Altaria. I'm running 3 of them. I need to get shinies. And 3 copies of Swablu. So the Dragon core lineup has not changed much. And I'm also running my 1 of Rayquaza for just quick damage off of 1 energy. And then for other cards, I'm running 2 copies of Emolga. Yeah, I know, this artwork is adorable. Call for Family, just set up my bench. And then I'm taking a single copy of Jirachi EX. When you play this thing from your hand onto your bench, you can add a supporter card from your deck to your hand. So it's basically another copy of a supporter. Sometimes I need to get that supporter. In particular, I need some draw power, like 4 copies of Juniper, 4 copies of N, 2 copies of Colress, and 2 copies of Scarlet. basic supporter line is basic. Then for the remaining trainers, 3 copies of Level Ball, 3 copies of Rare Candy. You don't need 4, as you are going to be using Gabite a lot, so you'll be able to just straight up go Gibble, Gabite, Garchomp over the course of a couple turns. And then 3 of one of the newer cards, Muscle Band. This is from X and Y, and it's an extremely powerful card. Do any of you guys remember the card Expert Built from the Heart Gold Soul Silver sets, where you would give your opponent 20 HP and 20 more to all their attacks, and then when they knock it out, they take 3 prizes? Muscle Band is basically that. You equip it to one of your Pokemon, its attacks do 20 more damage. So that means just with this setup alone, Mach Cut is doing 80 damage for 1 in the discard, Dragon Blade is doing 120 damage for 2, and then if you stack this up with Altaria, let's just get our magical field set up. So you're doing 120 there. Where are my Altarias? You're doing 20, so 20, 40, 60, 80. With a Muscle Band and 3 Altarias out, you're doing 80 extra damage to your attacks, and those are very magic numbers, as 60 plus additional 80 is 140, so that'll knock out stage 2s in one hit, and then Dragon Blade will be doing 180 damage, which will clean shot any EX in the game. It takes a bit of work to get that kind of board setup, but again, you're knocking out any EX in the game for just 2 energy while only giving up 1 prize. I could also run something like Silver Bangle for when my meta becomes EX heavy, but still, this is just an interaction I wanted to try out, and it's really strong. Muscle Band is going to become a staple in a lot of decks. Plasma has seen a lot of play because you can just equip this onto a Lugia, and now its main attack is doing 140 damage with some Deoxys and our Hypnotoxic Laser. You could do some crazy large amounts of damage, all thanks to Muscle Band being a thing. Pick them up right now. They're really good. And then 2 copies of Escape Rope. To those who may not know about this, Pokemon Capture got errated so that you have to coin flip for it to succeed, and to be perfectly honest, Capture is nowhere near as good as it used to be because of this, so a lot of people have just dropped it. Instead, I'm running Escape Rope to not only get my guys out of the active into whatever, but I also force my opponent to switch something that they may not want on the bench into the active, and then Garchomp can just come in and kill it. So Escape Rope is probably becoming a 2-of staple. 2 copies of Super Rod just to recycle back my Mons. I'm playing a deck that can lose its main attacker very easily, so I want to constantly keep a cycle of Garchomp going. That's how I can grind out my games and win. 1 copy of Tool Scrapper. I should probably bump this up to 2, but nobody plays Garbodor right now. However, when it does see play, I'll up this up, and this is just to get things like opposing Muscle Bands and Float Stones off. 1 copy of Max Potion, because I am running a low energy attacker, so I can just Max Potion off the damage off of Garchomp and then reattach another energy and start swinging again. In my A spec is again Dowsing Machine. A thing that is said in my Zekrom Eels video from a long time ago was that Dowsing Machine makes your 1-ofs 2-ofs and your 2-ofs 3-ofs. Same logic applies here. You just pitch something you don't need, as you will be building up a very large hand with this deck. Once you start getting your deck rolling, you won't be needing a whole bunch of stuff in your hand, so Dowsing Machine can just pitch stuff you don't need and then get stuff back. And then for the energies, I believe it's actually the same ratio as last time. 7 fighting, 4 colorless. So there you have it, my current deck in Pokemon at this time. It was definitely a blast to be able to play around with Garchomp again, and more importantly, actually have good games against people. I had a fairly good, long matchup against Fairies a couple days ago. It was actually pretty intense. It came down to the wire. He was able to kill my guys in 1 hit. I was able to kill his guys in 1 to 2 hits. More importantly, though, I gave up 1 prize to his 2. And that's what it comes down to when it's Garchomp versus the X's. Is this a meta deck? As I said before, oh hell no. Garchomp has issues. It can run out of steam very quickly, and yeah, like, you need a very specific setup in order to actually deal very large amounts of damage. But when you get those damage numbers going, the deck can become difficult to stop. But there are so many things better than it. This is a tier 2 deck now. I'm just going to say that. It pains me to say this, but yeah. A Dragon deck in Pokemon is only going to be able to do so much right now, and unless we get like more Dragon EXs and like a strategy that just focuses around them. And the only Dragon EX right now that is worth playing is Rayquaza, and that requires Emboar now that Electric is gone, and I don't have Emboars. All my fire cards are pretty much going to another one of my friends so he can build a fire deck, which will be a very, very, very strong option come Flash Fire when we get things like Kindling, what's the other one? Blacksmith, and Charizard EX. If you can, I would pick up the card Delphox from X and Y, as I think is going to become the backbone of every good fire deck come Flash Fire, and just Delphox in general is just really strong. I have a couple myself and I'm hanging on to. I'm going to be trying to splash them into this deck like Blastoise, since I do not have Beach. But until that project is done though, I have basically this. I will have a Plasma deck for you guys at some point, as I really am only just missing a couple cards. So until then though, I hope you guys enjoyed this update to my Durgans. And that being said, this is BlueStar899, jacking out.